Hi, I want to welcome you to the religion of time. So, I started a religion, and so far I am the only member. I'm not gonna be like claim to be the Pope or anything. I'm just gonna be one of everybody else. As soon as one more person or more will join the religion of time. But I will take it upon myself to create a small video series to explain it, the outliers of the religion of time, and maybe I will come out with like commandments or a Bible at some point. But for now, I'm just gonna share the idea to see if anybody else feels sparked to join the religion of time. So it might become a more lengthy series that could potentially be boring, but I'm just gonna go ahead and start because I really like the religion of time as a crutch to help me in bad times, but also to give be aware of a bigger picture, like in terms of how else situations could be looked at, to help with relaxation, to help with not panicking, to help with like not creating suffering by avoiding internal pressure or internal like motivation. And I will explain what I mean. So it is something that I feel is soothing. There is a truth to it, and I just like the idea of it. So I will I will explain it, the the idea of it more, and then the benefits of it, and how we go about practicing our religion. And so how I came up with it is like spiritual texts that explain things with time. Like the law of one gives a certain time frame for each density. So you can't really run through a density in a shorter amount of time, but you also won't need way more time. It's basically a time frame, right? So I'm not sure the exact time frame, but I think third density is like the shortest one with like, I'm butchering it, but something like 30,000 to 50,000 years or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe a little more, but maybe a little less. So, but there is a least amount of time you need for it and a maximum amount of time you need for it. So basically, you need time for it. So to try to rush it or to try to be impatient about it is like a little bit silly if you believe these time frames, right? Because like, yeah, no matter what you do, you're not gonna make it in less than 30,000 years or something, right? And then I also studied a German book that works with the idea of reincarnation. And it says that the normal human reincarnation cycle averages around 100 lifetimes. And so it's like never less than 80 lifetimes and never more than 120 lifetimes or something, right? So it seems to be almost irrelevant who we are. It seems to be almost irrelevant what choices we make, if we're honorable or not, if we're like what type of person we are. It's really you know, like if you're like the best ever, you will make it in 80 lifetimes. And if you're like the worst ever, you make it in 120 lifetimes. And then looking back, it's like, who cares? I think. So it seems like time matters way more than the decisions we make, and right. And so this bumps up against the idea that, for example, you need to have a career and you need to have the best uh, um, decisions, and you have to be a winner, and you have to have the best relationship, and it also seems to bump up against the idea that you have to do all the spiritual programs, you have to meditate 10 hours a day, you have to be the most honorable guy, you have to work out every day, like all these things that are not relevant from a bigger picture, seemingly, right? But because all it can do, if at all, it will spare you a couple lifetimes, or it will make the third density journey maybe 1,000 years shorter or whatever, right? But so so that's why I came up with the idea that time is of the matter, like time matters. So it's about spending time, and so it relaxes the idea that the efficiency idea. I think a lot of what spirituality today is like trying to be efficient about stuff, trying to have the correct meditation, the correct mindset, the correct spiritual community. The it also has to be like it also all has to create this momentum where we reach enlightenment and love and self-love and stuff more, right? And the same applies to optimizing relationships, um, or having the best career and stuff, right? And so this helps me because I decided to quit my job and now I don't know what to do next. And money is always like not infinite, right? And then, well, and what comes next? Maybe war, or maybe recession, or maybe this, or maybe that, maybe this. And it's like, yeah, but it's not about that really. It's about spending time. It's like Elon Musk or Bill Gates, they have billions and they are philanthropists and they are revered and hated also, but they spend the same amount of time as me. So they journey through the universe or through the densities or through the reincarnation cycle with almost the same speed, maybe a little faster, maybe a little slower. I don't even know which one it is, or maybe the same pace. But they're not gonna, how do you say, um, lap me, right? They're not gonna pass me a couple of times or whatever. They're not gonna run circles around me in terms of my journey, right? According to what I understand from the spiritual scriptures that I read, right? So that's why I think I can just relax and go like, you know what? I'm doing what everybody who is seemingly in a matrix of time our first job is in the matrix, in a matrix of time, to spend time. Like God that can't really spend time because he's not in time, to my understanding, right? The absolute can't spend time because it's not in time. So, and I can like not spend time when I'm out of time, but now I'm in time. So I guess there's a reason for it. And the reason for it seems to obviously be like very much on the nose, is like to spend time. And that's what I'm doing. And it doesn't depend what I'm doing. It doesn't if I have billions or not, if I'm like have a career or not, if I'm healthy or not, if I have a relationship that's great or a bad relationship, or if I'm single, if I'm like outside and I'm freezing or I'm inside and it's warm, whatever I'm doing, I'm spending time and I'm spending the same amount of time. So I'm always winning. So I'm always like, and the religion of time, my idea, and we can obviously workshop this if we have more members than just me. But my idea is we get 2 time points per minute spent. I got this idea from the app from my job where we get 2 pretzel points for €1 spent. And so we get 2 time points for each minute spent. So it doesn't matter how I spend my minute, I always get awarded the 2 time points. If I like save the world in a minute, I get the same 2 time points and as if I drop an atomic bomb in this 1 minute. I'm not saying to drop an atomic bomb, it's bad. But in terms of like my journey, I always get my points for spending time however I spend it, right? And so I think this relaxes me and it gives me a different type of worthiness, right? Because my worthiness and my value in society is like not really dependent upon my status or what I do or what I did, as it seems to be like viewed at by most people, right? Most people think social status is like the relative status, or worthiness like the relative status relative to others, right? If others revere somebody as like a wise and good guy, then that's his status, right? Or somebody reveres like a woman to be a very woman who has her stuff together and is really a nice presence, then that's her status, right? But from the time perspective, we all have the same value because we all we all get 2 points per minute, 2 time points per minute, all of us. If we smell or not, if we look good or not, you get the point. So that I think relaxes me and that gives me perspective on my purpose, which is to spend time, and I'm doing that, right? So I can stop judging me for how I spend my time, at least a little less. I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't matter at all what I do, because it matters in the relative sense. Like, if I'm nice to a person, then I contribute or if I'm kind to a person, then I contribute to society in a positive way, and that's a good thing in and of itself. But I still get rewarded the same time points if I'm not kind, because it's about getting through this journey, and this journey is measured by time. Simple as it is. So, to make it quick, time heals all wounds. Like, there's no wound that won't heal in time, but you can speed up a wound healing a little bit, but you have to spend some time for a wound to heal. And if you die from a wound, then the wound is obviously also healed, because then you're outside of your body and you don't experience being wounded anymore, right? So you need time, but time does heal all wounds, all trauma, everything gets healed by time. There's nothing that happened 1,000,000 years ago that's still, or let's say 100 million years ago. Maybe you find something that happened 1,000,000 years ago that still bothers you, but let's say 100 billion years ago something happened. It doesn't impact you anymore today because time healed it already. So much time has passed, right? So time heals all wounds, and time will give us all the answers. Time will give us enlightenment. Time will give us, if we have an answer like we don't get this, we just have to spend some time looking at it, and then we get it. We don't get it right now, but we will get it in the future. So what do we need for getting it? Time, right? So that's why I worship time, and that's why I think time worship here helps if you're not like right now completely winning at life completely, right? If you're completely winning at life, you don't need the time religion, because then you're so excited and you get so much many endorphins, like yay, everything's happening for me. But when these accomplishments wear off, or when you're on a losing streak, then come to the time religion. Realize that spending time is really what matters. And while you're on the losing streak, you spend the same amount of time when you were on a winning streak. And so you're winning the exact same amount. So that's the introduction. And I feel like nobody resonates with this that I told so far about it. But I like it so much that I decided to make a video. And yeah, time be with you, and have a good time.